So you've spent your entire life saving for retirement. You might be thinking, hey, the hard part is over, right? Well, what if I told you the skills that got you to retirement are completely different from the ones you'll need to get through retirement? Today, we're going to break down a framework for that journey based on a process from the team at Confidence Financial Partners. This quote right here really hits the nail on the head. I mean, think about it. The entire financial mindset you've had for decades, accumulate, grow, save, it all has to be flipped on its head. It's this massive shift from building a nest egg to actually making that nest egg last. And that, well, that requires a whole new playbook. All right, so let's really dig into that shift. Retirement isn't just about starting a new chapter in a book. It's like the book's language changes from English to something totally new. It's a complete reversal of how your financial world has been operating. Okay, check this out. During your career, the flow of money is pretty simple, right? It's a one-way street. Your income comes in and you direct it into your savings and investments. But the second you retire, that flow reverses. It's like a river changing course. Suddenly, that whole system you built to gather up wealth now has to become a system that creates an income stream for you. And that one fundamental reversal, it changes everything. So to navigate this brand new financial world, the advisors at Confidence have put together a structured framework they call the Confidence Retirement Pathway. The best way to think of it is like a map, a comprehensive guide to help you get through all the key financial territories of your post-working years. The pathway itself is built around what they call the 5 worlds of retirement. First up, you've got income planning, which is all about how you're going to create your new paycheck. Then there's investment and risk management. After that, tax planning, super important. Then healthcare and long-term care, and finally, estate and legacy planning. And here's the key. These aren't just separate silos. They're all interconnected pieces of one big puzzle. And that brings us to a really crucial idea. It's so easy for people heading into retirement to focus almost all their energy on their investments. How are they performing? What's the allocation? But according to the Confidence Team's framework, that's only about 20% of the whole retirement puzzle. The other 80%, the huge majority, is made up of all that other stuff: income planning, tax strategy, healthcare costs, and legacy planning. These areas are just as critical, and frankly, often more so. Okay, so let's zoom in on one of those critical areas that can sneak up on you: taxes. While you're working, taxes are usually pretty straightforward, right? But in retirement, if you don't have a plan, they can easily become one of your biggest expenses. This leads to a concept the Confidence Team calls the tax time bomb. Now, for years, you've probably been putting money into accounts like 401ks and traditional IRAs, right? And you've been enjoying that tax-deferred growth. But the key word there is deferred, not free. The tax bill is still there, just waiting. When you start taking withdrawals, every single dollar could be taxed as ordinary income, and who knows what tax rates might look like in the future. So the whole point here is that you've got to have a long-term view to deal with this. It's about putting together a strategic withdrawal plan that maps out which accounts you're going to pull from and when. We're talking about looking maybe even decades into the future to manage that tax liability over your entire retirement. All right, next up is another major financial challenge in retirement: healthcare. And this isn't just about Medicare. It's about what happens before you're eligible and the potential need for long-term care way down the road. For anyone who retires before they turn 65, there's this gap before Medicare kicks in. The Confidence Team shared an example of a client who's looking into COBRA coverage, and they were quoted $2,500 a month. A month! That's a $30,000 annual expense that absolutely has to be factored into any early retirement plan. And beyond just regular health care, there's the big question of long-term care. This isn't just about the person who might need the care. It's about protecting the financial well-being of the healthy spouse so that one person's illness doesn't completely drain the couple's entire life savings. The Confidence Team often highlights an approach called asset-based long-term care as one way to plan for this. See, a lot of traditional long-term care policies are kind of use it or lose it. You pay all these premiums, and if you never need the care, that money's just gone. In contrast, an asset-based approach repositions one of your existing assets to provide that long-term care benefit. And if care is never needed, well, that asset simply passes on to your heirs. And that leads us perfectly into the final world of the pathway: your estate and your legacy. This is all about being proactive. It's about you making your own decisions about what happens to your assets when you're no longer around to make them. It's really important to remember that estate planning isn't just about the next generation. A huge goal, often the number one goal, is making sure the surviving spouse is cared for and has a stable financial future and enough income to maintain their lifestyle. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. If you don't create a plan for your taxes, for your health care, for your estate, who makes those decisions for you? Because somebody has to. The decisions don't just go away. They end up getting made by the IRS tax code, by probate courts, or by state laws. So proactive planning, it isn't just about money. It's about you staying in control of your future and your legacy.